What's going on, guys? I recently took a break from Albion Online, but I wanted to still keep premium status when I return. Therefore, I decided to put a few plans in place to ensure I could always afford premium again without needing to pay real money. So in this video, I wanted to share how I earned my first premium in-game when I first started, and then I'll go into my 5 favorite ways to keep premium without needing to grind hours every day. Also, thank you to everyone for 1,600 subscribers, really cool, and for all the comments I've received, and I'm glad my videos have helped you out so far. So when I first started playing Albion in January 2023, my initial goal was to afford premium without paying real money for it. I enjoyed mining in World of Warcraft, so I just started specializing in ore mining in Albion. However, I quickly realized how much I was missing out on without premium status. This includes the 50% gathering yield bonus, the extra learning points per day, as well as the 500 learning points you get for buying premium status for the first. All these perks definitely enticed me to spend the $15 on the game, but I was determined to earn premium without ever having to pay, just for the strategy of it. I figured if I was successful, I could make a YouTube channel sharing what I've learned and the mistakes I've made along the way. So from mid-January to mid-February, I did basically nothing but mine ore a couple hours every night. If you ever have trouble falling asleep, do some gathering before bed. It's a perfect mindless activity. So it may be boring for some, but I actually found it pretty rewarding earning silver to upgrade my mining gear and mount. In addition, I used all my learning points to further improve my ore mining skills. With a greater bonus yield and mining speed, I was earning a bit more silver every hour. Not to mention, more carry weight from my upgraded mountain bag led me to more efficient trips back and forth from the market. In addition to this, any extra silver I had lying around after upgrading my gear, I started investing into market flipping. I used my focus for farming, which is a lot less silver than crafting or refining. However, I didn't know this at the time, but hey, you live and you learn. In any case, I finally reached my goal by mid-February and purchased premium for around 18 million silver. Honestly, I should have waited a bit longer so I could have had some spare silver to market flip with it to make the next premium easier, but I was so excited to get my first premium, I just bought it. So towards the end of February, I was happy to be earning about 50% more when gathering with the premium status. I also upgraded to tier 7 and then tier 8 shortly after the pickaxe. However, even with the greater yield and faster gathering, I knew this wasn't a sustainable approach to keep premium, especially because premium cost was on the rise due to inflation, approximately rising 1 to 2 million every month. And it didn't make sense to invest 1 to 2 hours per day just to keep one account with premium status. So by March 2023, I decided to venture out into other silver making ventures to determine how I could afford premium with minimal time invested. For the last 10 months, I've been experimenting, and I can now share my 5 ways to keep premium without spending hours a day to do so. So starting with number 5, and I've made many videos on this already, guys, but market flipping. I swear by it, and it's one of the best ways, if not the best way, to make silver in a short amount of time. I've made many videos on beginner's guide to how to market flip and just in general, what the purpose of it is. But overall, it's scalable, and if you know what you're doing, it only takes like 10 to 15 minutes a day. So my goal for market flipping, which if you're going to be doing market flipping for premium, so let's say you want to get 20 million per month. Maybe that's your goal. So for market flipping, setting a daily, weekly, or monthly profit goal is very important. So if you're only doing market flipping for money and nothing else, then you're going to want to get at least 18 million for that month. Realistically, you're probably going to want to aim for even more, because the more silver you have on hand, the easier it is to flip with. So personally, my goal is to make 1 million per day market flipping, and that's pretty simple goal. So I have about 50 items, and I try to make it simple, I would say if you could do like 100 items and you want to get 10,000 profit per, so 10,000 times 100, that's a million. That'll be like 1 million per day. Or if you can go, let's say I want to make 100,000 per day per item, and I have 50 items here, that's 5 million per day. So it's if you have a lot of silver, again, it's easier to do so. So always have silver on hand, and market flipping daily, weekly, or monthly profit goal, depending on what you're doing. If you have other ventures as well, maybe you only want to do 10 million per month. And I won't go into like market flipping specifically in this because I have many videos on it on how to market flip. But in general, it gets easier the more silver you can invest. Even let's say your margin is 20% profit, but you're doing it on 1 million item. Let's look at elite ones are usually expensive. So let's say like if you're just going to do one item here, one elite bighorn ram lamb, You buy it for 700,000, sell it for 850. That's 100,000 just for one item flip. And that's just a simple example, but you could do it with literally any item. So number 5, market flipping. It's a great way to make money, and it is scalable, and it's a good way to earn premium, especially when you have leftover silver. So I bought premium and I still have about 20 million plus everything else. And this is after about 10 to 11 months of playing. Number 4, this is one that I decided to do after gathering and after market flipping to try to earn even more silver passively, because I wanted to find a way to use my focus. So as you have premium, it's actually easier to keep premium because you have the focus. So to keep premium with the focus, I would recommend picking one, if you're going to do refining, one refining spec to go with. Personally, I decided to go, being that I'm in Martlock, I decided to go with tanning or refining high. So the reason why is that I started in Martlock, and that is the bonus. So you get the refining bonus in Martlock. And what I do is put in buy orders for hide, usually in Bridgewatch because it's the cheapest, and then transport it back here, about 67 million here. And what you want to do, if this is your goal of making your focus as efficient as possible, pick one type of refining. Don't go into a bunch because it doesn't make sense. It's not really time efficient. Depending on whatever market you're in. So for example, Martlock I'm in, so I'm doing tanning. The higher the spec, the more cost efficient your focus becomes. And again, I've made videos on this, but I'm making about 60 to 70 million per month focus refining hide. And this has to do with putting buy orders in Bridgewatch, transporting back, or you could even put buy orders in Martlock. You won't get it as cheap as Bridgewatch, but you don't have to, spend time transporting if you have limited time per day to do that. So invest your learning points into whatever you're refining and put your buy orders in, and then finally you could always transport. So for example, like leather, I have a crafting character that's using leather right now, so leather armor is what I'm crafting. So I'll refine the leather in Martlock and then sometimes transport it over here to Thetford. I do have another character which I will show in a second, and craft leather armor with the refined leather rather than just sell it right back into the market. So that's that. If you're just doing refining, I would focus your learning points into that, set buy orders for cheap materials, and you could either transport, or if you want just to do it quick, just sell it. Put a sell order in the actual market you're in. I mean, you won't get the optimal price, but it'll be decent enough. Okay, let me go into my other character for number 3. Okay, so now I'm on my crafting character. So this is going to be number 3 if you're going to go into crafting. Now, I would not recommend this if you're just trying to get premium for the first time, because it's not as easy to get the materials for crafting. I would say it was easier for me to get the refining raw materials. So I decided to make this character for leather jackets. Bought premium again on this character, and I could finally, after a few months of actually getting my skills up on leather jacket crafting, finally calculated it, and I made a video on this if you guys want to check it out, leather jacket crafting. I have about 30 to 40 specs on every one of these, and then I maxed this out here, leather jacket crafting, and I'm at a point where I could finally break even and earn at least 20 million a month just crafting leather jackets with any type, really, Hellion jackets or stalker jacket, whatever's most profitable at the time. And and this is only with selling it right back into the market at Thetford. I mean, obviously, if you want the most profit, I'd transport it back, but I just wanted to make it sustainable with the least amount of time so I can continue to earn premium. And do I even have learning points? And I've been using basically most of my learning points to get these specs up as much as possible. But this is similar to the process of refining. You're going to invest the learning points into your refining specs, whatever it may be. Specialize. Don't, if you're doing leather, don't go into cloth or metal. Focus on one thing because it's more efficient and you'll earn more money more quickly if you specialize. Set buy orders for cheap materials, and this includes not only the actual raw material for like the leather. For me, I transport it back after I refine it, but if you're going to do that, I would say if I didn't have my refining leather character, I'd probably put buy orders in for just Thetford or most likely Martlock if I want the cheapest price and if I had time to transport it back. And then also on these artifacts that will help you, that are required for certain jackets, such as the Stalker jacket, and then this one is for the Spectre jacket. Assassin jackets and some of the more basic ones don't require these artifacts, but you got to see what's most profitable at the time. And I did make a spreadsheet if you guys want to check it out on my other crafting video. For example, this only takes, so that would be for the crafting, invest your learning points in the refining spec, set buy orders for the cheap materials, and then transport finished goods to other markets. Or if you're pressed for time, you could just put it as a sell order into whatever market you're in. That's kind of what I've been doing. Again, it's not ideal, but you got to calculate the time of transporting back and forth. So I have this Hellion jacket waiting for sale. Okay, so number 2 is going to be transporting. So I touched on this already between these characters, but being that I've done refining and crafting, I have an idea of where to set buy orders for cheap items, whether they're crafted or refined. So for example, let me go into my other character. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm on my 0 to hero character, and this is a character that I decided to make just learning. After I played for a few months, I made this character in Bridgewatch, and I took what I learned between market flipping and everything, and I tried to earn premium much more quickly than I did the first time. So if you want to check that out, it's a 0 to hero premium video that I made. But in this video, I wanted to show you because of transporting. So this character is maxed out here, and I already touched on refining, but this character is specialized in refining stone because I am in Bridgewatch, and that's the bonus. What I do is I put buy orders in here on this character for hide because it's the cheapest resource around here. And what I do is place buy orders in Martlock for stone, and then I'll transport back and forth between like the refined stone block. I'll bring over to Martlock, and refined hide, which is leather, I'll bring over to Bridgewatch because you'll get a better price. It's not the most price, but being that I'm transporting back and forth from Martlock and Bridgewatch, these characters kind of synergize with one another. And going to my point about transporting, this gives you an idea, or me specifically, an idea of the prices between the two markets. Now there's 5 different markets, so you guys are gonna have a better idea than me when you're transporting, if it's not between Martlock and Bridgewatch for these particular items. But finding discrepancies between prices, and I'm gonna go into like the hide here, just as an example of what I know. And let's say 3. So like I know it's like 8,000 for hide in Martlock, so I could actually just buy these outright for 7,100, and they're already cheaper. And even if I'm not refining, I could just go ahead and take these, transport them over to Martlock, and sell them to people who are actually refining hide. So like, if you were transporting, you can go take these, bring them to Martlock, and maybe I'll buy some if they're cheap enough. You know, even better if you like buy order these here for 146, and you could sell them to Martlock for probably, I'd say 210, 220. 220,000. Even you could market flip them here if you want, because the discrepancy is like 200,000 versus 146,000. So that's profit there. But if we're talking transport specifically, know what you're doing between which markets, and it also helps looking at whatever the activity bonus is. So like if you know cloth shoes are up 10%, it's likely the raw materials where cloth shoes are being made are going up because everyone's buying those. Same thing with tools. So this will give you an idea that cloth shoes are probably going to be cheaper. And I don't know off the top of my head where the bonus is for cloth shoes. Oh, okay. Well, duh. So cloth shoes actually would be bonus here. So these actually should be pretty cheap. So if I go to armor cloth shoes, so you can see here, like the normal price over here is probably around like 13, 14,000. You can see these are already coming down because everyone's making these and selling them. So just knowing those discrepancies helps you determine which materials might be cheaper in one location. So like cloth here will probably be pretty expensive, and if you can get it cheap in other markets, probably around Thetford, I'd say. I think that's where the cloth is, around the swampland, the cheapest. Take it from Thetford, transport it here. As the day progresses, I think this is going to go up even more, but you'll definitely won't find any cheap cloth, and you'll be able to sell this at market price, if not more, because of the whole bonus. So you got to look at that, and there's so many different enchantments and items, but if you just understand the concepts of knowing what to transport, it's a good way to make money. It's a little bit more time consuming than the other ones I've mentioned, flipping, refining, and crafting, but it is a way that I've been able to make money between markets if you know the prices, and the prices fluctuate, how they fluctuate. So that'd be number 2. And number 1 is going to be long-term investing. So this is actually pretty good too if you don't play as much and you have silver lying around. One of the things I wish I was doing, which I started doing now, and let me actually go into my other character here. 1 second. All right, so I'm on my main. I'm just going to show you an example here for long-term investing, which I haven't really done all that much, but it's a huge silver maker if you have the time. If you don't really have much time to play, but you have the silver to invest. So I bought 60 pest lizards. I probably could have bought more based on the timing. So the reason why is because if you look at here in the every month there's a bonus here. This month is going to be the Snow Husky, and basically everyone who has premium here, you could easily get one of these bonuses. And October was the Spectral Bat, and then November was the Pest Lizard. So normally this is around, I'd say 400,000 maybe, 420,000 silver. Let's see what the current price is. We're day 2 into the next month. All right, so this is a perfect example because over here, this is about 28 days ago. The price was around 381, and even before that, it was like probably in the low 400s. So by the time, I would say probably like a week into, I think it takes what, 6 days, 100,000. Generally 100,000 challenge points per day. So by like day 6, if people play every day, usually by like day 10, most of the people could afford this reward. So this price dropped all the way from like 400,000, I'd say 380 to 250, 260,000. And this is actually the sell order price. If you put in a buy order, you probably could get even cheaper, like 250. So I caught it pretty late, around like 280, 290,000, which is still decent. And once this goes back up to like 380 in a few days, like it's already rising, I'll sell it for about 100,000 profit per one. So I'll make like 100,000, about 6 million profit I'll make out of the 60 pest lizards I bought. Ideally, I would have liked to buy more, but I caught this late. So I'm going to try it with the Snow Husky for, let's see what the price is. So the normal price for the Snow Husky is around 800,000, I'd say. 850,000 might be a little high, but people are going to, like by day 6 or 7, this is probably going to fall down to maybe 650, 600,000, and then you could sell it for 770,000. So you make 150,000 on each one is my guess. You just have to have a ton of silver. So it works with like the Spectral Bats or the cheaper ones if you have less silver, but it's the same concept where you could be making, 10, 20% of your money and not really have to spend any time playing. So I can make 6 million easily just by, buying those. Again, this takes more silver, but this is just one example of long-term investing. Other ones are investing in materials when they drop low. So if you look at the 4-week price, let's say Enchanted 3 Sleet. If you look at like the 4-week price, generally, like let's say the granite was up to 1,800. Maybe you want to invest in this when it's around, 1,400, 1,500, and then wait until it comes up again. And this happens too with the activities, where if it's a gathering bonus, that's something you want to look for. If it's like, stone gathering bonus, everyone's gathering that for the day or two, and it's cheap for a while, so that's when you want to buy it and hold it. Now, the only catch with this is that, you have your silver tied up for a while, but if you're not playing, then it's kind of a good strategy for you. If you're playing a lot, probably transporting is best. If you're playing like a medium amount, maybe like maybe an hour, 30 minutes to an hour a day, then market flipping, refining, and crafting are all good ideas to try. And you could always do gathering and dungeons and stuff like in the interim. But these are all just more of I would say, somewhat passive ways to earn silver per month, to earn that 20 million, actually 18 million now, silver to keep premium. And then, whatever other silver you have, you could do as an upgrading gear or anything else you want to do to, enjoy the game, whether it's PvP or anything really. I only touched on a few things: refining, crafting, market flipping, but PvP is the main part of this game. So you could upgrade, get gear sets, do whatever you want to do. And so overall, the 5 ways: market flipping, refining, crafting, transporting, long-term investing are the 5 my favorite ways to keep premium, and I've done them on 3 different characters right now, and it's worked out for the last 8 months. And I love these methods, as you don't need to spend hours gathering or grinding away at dungeons. And best of all, they're scalable. You still could do dungeons, you still could do gathering if you want. But these are like low time sink, high silver ways to keep premium. Even if premium price increases due to silver inflation, you could also scale these methods as well. Transport more goods, higher value goods, market flip higher value items, afford more refining or crafting materials to refine more per day. You could even make, a second account and scale that, with more focus. And then transporting, knowing the prices back and forth. And long-term investing, if you have a decent amount of silver, just different ways to invest in based on the activities. Find cheap items and then hold them for a month or so and then sell them at the normal price or a higher price. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully it was helpful. And as always, thank you for watching. And thank you for the subscribers, comments, and likes.